What's going on, guys? Episode 6 of the Next Season podcast. And this one is all about the 4 pillars of next season athletes. Let's jump right in. So these are the 4 pillars that I look for. So in the previous conversation, we talked about the values and standards. That's the groundwork. That's the foundation of the things that I look to build in myself and look to build in my athletes. And then the 4 pillars, now we're starting to build up. Right now, we're starting to say, what are the skills and the attributes that go into being a next season athlete? What does that mean? That means, what are the skills and attributes that are necessary to be successful in the field, to optimize every bit of talent that we have, and then how that translates into life after the game, right? Whether that's entrepreneur jobs, relationships, everything else, the foundation is the same, and these pillars are the same. They are transferable to everything that you do. So what we're going to dive into is what those 4 pillars are, and then specifically the first one, which is around talent. What I say is we're going to develop traits. Okay. Traits are the things that we can demonstrate, the behaviors that we show, who we are based upon our behaviors and our habits. Okay. Those are the bricks that make up the pillar. And those pillars are talent, effort, ambition, and mindset. I'll say it again, talent, effort, ambition, and mindset. If you're following along closely, you'll see that TEAM, that means team. And really what we're doing is we are becoming a team player by building these pillars, by establishing these pillars in every habit and attribute and quality that goes into being a well-rounded athlete and well-rounded person. Okay. So we're going to work to optimize each of those pillars. We're going to talk specifically around what are the bricks, what are the traits that go in it, and what it takes. So the first one is talent. Talent is what you have and it's who you are. That's our focus for today, but I'm going to cover the other 3 real quick for you, and then we'll dive deeper into those as we go through it in the next 3 episodes. The next one is effort, and that is what you do and how you show up physically. How I think about this is effort is your time that you commit to something, it's the attention that you give something, and it's the energy that you demonstrate towards something. That's effort. That's how we quantify it, right? It's time plus attention plus energy. That equals effort. That's what you do. And it's how you show up physically. The third pillar is ambition. That's what you want. It's your goals. It's your aspirations. It's your dreams. It's the things that you're shooting towards, the things you're targeting, the things you want to become, who you want to be, what you want to achieve. Okay. That's your ambition. And then the last one is mindset. And that is what you think and how you show up mentally. Now, a lot of people can have talent. A lot of people can have effort. A lot of people can have ambition and big goals. It's the mindset that is the true separator. And that's where predominantly I focus my coaching efforts and then the conversations I have with athletes is really about mindset. We're obviously going to talk about talent. We're going to talk about effort. We're going to talk about ambition. There's mindset stuff in every single one of those, but there are some additional mindset components that are critical to develop in order to be truly elite as an athlete and as a human being. The next season athlete has the talent. They demonstrate the effort and how they show up physically. They have the ambition. They know what their goals are. But a true next season athlete has all 3 plus the mindset. My goal for you is that you apply those standards that we talked about and the values that we talked about in every single one of these pillars to become a well-rounded athlete. Within each of the pillars, there's 5 attributes. There's 5 traits, what I call the bricks. Again, and this is where we take the bricks, we stack those. We stack the habits, we stack the attributes, and that forms the pillar. And what we try to do is become 5 tool athletes within each pillar to become a next season athlete, to make the most of whatever gifts and talents and ambitions we have. If you think of a 5-tool baseball player, you know they can hit for contact, they can hit for power, they've got speed, they can run, right? They can throw the ball well, and they can field. If you got 5 of those, at least from an offensive player perspective, you're what they call a 5-tool player. And I'm looking to develop 5 tools, 5 bricks within each pillar so that you're completely well-rounded just like that. If you've got one tool, right? If you can hit for power, but you strike out a ton, you're not fast, you don't have a good throwing arm, and you can't field real well, your career is going to be really limited, right? Unless you've got some massive, massive power. In that case, you might be a pinch hitter, right? Great. Awesome. If you can throw the ball really well, but you don't have the other tools, your career is going to be short. My goal is to develop well-rounded athletes. It's great to have specialties. It's great to have significant strengths, things that you're really good at. But if you don't become well-rounded, you're not going to make it far. To illustrate this a little bit, I want you to picture a dog, okay? If you've got talent and ambition, but you don't have effort, so you've got physical gifts and skills, you've got goals, there's things that you want to achieve, but you don't work hard, you're like a daydreaming dog. You're like those dogs that you see when their paws are going really fast and they're sleeping, they're chasing rabbits or something, but they're not doing anything with it, okay? You're a daydreaming dog. Talent plus ambition, but no effort is a daydreamer. If you've got talent and you've got effort, but you don't have ambition, you're like that dog that's chasing its tail, right? Running in circles, chasing its tail, okay? You could be working hard, but you're not getting anywhere. That's talent plus effort, but no ambition. You got to know what your goals are. You got to know where you're going. If you've got effort and ambition, you're working hard, you've got big goals and big dreams, but you don't have the talent, that's the underdog. Don't get me wrong, we love underdogs. They make movies about underdogs. Rudy was an underdog. An underdog can make it, but at the end of the day, talent does matter. We're going to talk about that in a second. Talent does make a difference. If you've got talent and ambition and you have effort, now you're a top dog. Now you're the alpha. Now you're a bulldog. And that's what we look for. And then all of those, we look to add the mindset piece. And again, that's where the coaching comes in. But I like to lay that out just to kind of give a visual of how important it is to be well-rounded and have every single one of these pillars in everything that you do. So let's talk about talent. What is talent? Talent, again, is what you have and it's who you are. There's, of course, natural and absorbed traits and experience. There's genetic components to this, right? And in a lot of cases, it's really hard to develop talent until you make a very conscious and intentional effort. And it's usually around mid to late teens when you start to figure out what it is that you want to do. You're starting to come into your body a little bit. You realize what your physical gifts and your strengths are, okay? So that's really when it starts to click for a lot of folks. Up until that point, it's just great to be a well-rounded athlete. I personally don't like to see specialized sport pursuits until mid to late teens at the absolute earliest, because you want to be well-rounded. You want to avoid burnout. You want to avoid overuse injuries. And it's just good to be an athlete. It's good to try different things. So in that mid to late teens is when you really start to see some conscious and intentional effort towards developing talent. Again, what that is, we're going to talk about what I put as the 5 bricks in just a second. So talent is essential, okay? You have to have talent if you're going to get anywhere in anything. We don't need to be scared of the fact that talent does matter, okay? That it is a factor, because it can be developed. It can be developed through effort. It can be developed through ambition. It can be developed through mindset. Okay. Some of us have natural baselines from genetics and in our environment, but again, they can all be developed. So let's dive deeper into what talent is. Talent is what you have and it's who you are. The first one is body. And when I say body, what I'm talking about is your physical body, right? That's your height, that's your weight, that's your speed, your strength, your body composition, your power and explosiveness. It's your coordination and your balance. It's your mobility and your flexibility, okay? It's your endurance, your cardio, your stamina. It's your eyesight and your vision. It's how effective you breathe. It's your reaction time. It's your grip strength. All of that goes into your physical body. Now, obviously, a lot of that is going to be natural and genetically baseline. But every one of those, with very few exceptions, can be influenced. We all have different muscle types. We all have different natural speed. Some of us may have better natural eyesight than others, but they can be developed. They can be improved. And it is all about honoring your gifts and continually developing them. The second is mind, specifically IQ. And what I mean by that is it's our ability to think, how smart we are, our ability to remember things, so our memory, our speed of learning. And I want to talk about what learning is real quick. So what I define as learning is 2 things. One, it's our ability to remember something. Obviously, if you learn something, then you can remember it. And the second piece of it is how it influences our behavior. So if you learn something, but it doesn't change your behavior in a specific situation, have you really learned? There's a really smart guy that said it perfectly. He said, learning is different behavior in the same conditions. I'm going to say that again. Learning is different behavior in the same conditions. So if you think of it like you go up to bat and you know that you're not supposed to swing at a pitch above your head or in the dirt, okay? You know that, but you do it. Do you really know it? I get like sometimes it's going to happen, but if you go up there and swinging that pitch above your head every time you're up to bat, you haven't learned anything. But the next time that you take that pitch and you wait for a pitch in your zone, now you've started to demonstrate the behaviors that you are learning. Okay. So that's the difference. Again, it's your memory, what you're able to recall, and how that learning influences your behavior. So some other elements of mind IQ is creativity, it's solutioning or problem solving, it's your resourcefulness, okay? Your verbal communication, your mathematical skills, okay? All of those are components of your mind, your IQ. The next is mind EQ. So this is the third brick, okay? And EQ is emotional intelligence. That is our ability to self-regulate. It's our ability to be self-aware of our own emotions and of the world around us. It's our ability to assess ourselves in real time. It's our ability to demonstrate empathy. And empathy is not necessarily agreeing with other people. It's not sympathy. What it is it's understanding others. Okay? Empathy is not about agreeing with somebody. It's about understanding where they came from and why they might think a certain thing or say a certain thing or behave a certain way. Not that we agree with it, but we understand why they might do it. Mind EQ is about social awareness. It's about organizational and team hierarchies and dynamics. It's about relationships, our ability to lead people. It's about our ability to collaborate and work together as a team. It's about our ability to manage conflict. All of those are the components of our EQ, our emotional intelligence. There's a great book that I highly recommend called The Four Agreements. And when it comes to developing your EQ, your emotional intelligence, I think that's one of the best books that I could recommend. The four agreements are these. And if you can develop each of these, if you can practice each of these, you're going to improve your emotional intelligence. The first of those agreements is be impeccable with your word. It's all about integrity. The second is don't take anything personally. And that's really hard to do for a lot of folks. I know it is for me. But if you are able to not take things personally, your emotional intelligence and your emotional self-regulation, your self-awareness, you're going to develop that. One of the best ways to do this in any relationship that you have, in any interaction that you have, is to give the benefit of the doubt. Give the benefit of the doubt to other people that they're not out to get you, okay? An umpire makes a bad call, he's not out to get you. Your coach has to sit on the bench, he's not out to get you. You give them the benefit of the doubt that they're doing things either for your benefit or for the benefit of the team. It's not people out to get you. So don't take things personally. Make adjustments as you need to, okay, but don't take it personal. It's not an attack on you as a human being. The third rule of the four agreements, do not make assumptions. It's very similar to don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions about somebody's intentions, about why they might be doing something, about what a result might be that hasn't been realized yet. Okay, seek to understand. And the fourth of the four agreements is always do your best. Always do your best. That's about effort. Okay. So those are the four agreements. I highly recommend that book. It breaks them down in much greater detail. So really, really good book. The three bricks we have so far are our physical body, our mind IQ, our mind EQ. The fourth brick is body language. Body language. And it may seem odd, but I'm telling you the importance of body language in everything that you do, certainly on the field and in life. It's your facial expressions, it's your gestures, it's your ability to maintain eye contact with somebody when you're talking with them, when you're listening to them. Okay, that is a demonstration of confidence. Your posture, okay? Posture is so important. There's some more technical ones, things like proxemics, paralanguage, haptics. Those are all, that gets in the nitty gritty a little bit of body language, but really, really important stuff. I remember growing up watching pitchers, Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens and Pedro Martinez and some of these other guys, when they got on the mound, they dominated that mound, and you could see in their body language that they didn't want to be messed with. They weren't going to be messed with. Okay. They owned that mound. They were confident, and their body language, their chest was out, their shoulders were back, their chin was out. They weren't hunched over. Okay. Same with offensive players. Guys who come up to bat, if they're strolling up to the bat with swagger and confidence, not that they're super cocky. Now, I don't mind cockiness to a degree, but when you come up to bat, you're coming up with the intent to do damage. You're coming up with the mindset that you're getting a hit. Your body language needs to demonstrate that. If you're coming up hunched over, slouched over, not feeling confident, not able to look people in the eyes, people are going to read that. The fifth, and we touched on this a little bit already, is character traits. Character traits. And what I like to say, I heard this one time and I thought it was an outstanding way to describe it. Under the talent profile, we know that talent is great. We know it's essential. We know it's critical. Our physical gifts, everything I just listed out, your mind, your body language, everything. Talent is essential. But when your talent exceeds your character, you're going to fail. You're not going to make it far because people aren't going to want you on their team. People aren't going to want to be around you, and your work ethic is going to hold you back. Character traits are absolutely vital as part of who you are. That's humility. It's authenticity. It's honesty and integrity. And if you recall, one of our values and standards is take to the oars. The O, the A, the R, and the S in oars is about ownership, accountability, responsibility, and sturdiness. When you are able to take ownership and demonstrate accountability and demonstrate responsibility, and you're able to be sturdy, not being a pushover, and the ability to handle hard times, the ability to handle bad calls, the ability to handle when your team falls behind and not give up, not slouch over, the ability to be sturdy, to be that rock for your team when they need you. That's all part of your character. So again, there are genetic factors that go into this. There are environmental factors that go into this. You can certainly influence this through nutrition and education and your physical health and your social interaction and your ability to handle stress and modulate stress and seek out stress. These are all factors that influence your talent. But at the end of the day, your talent is going to be one of the first pillars that people see when they're interacting with you. So you want to make sure you make that good first impression. To recap again, your body, your mind IQ, your mind EQ, your body language, and your character traits. Those are your 5 bricks of a talent profile. In episode 7, we're going to talk about effort and what that looks like for the second pillar. So we'll see you next time.